I first stepped foot into the gym when I was 14 years old, and I remember it like it was yesterday. So it was Furnace Health Studio in Barrow. It was a real spit and sawdust gym. It was like walking into a Rocky gym. You go in, all the machines were painted red, old school machines, like none of the dumbbells matched. All the plates were all different. You'd have to, look around the place for what you needed. And, the people in there were absolutely jacked. Or in my 14-year-old head, the atmosphere was absolutely crazy. And the owner, Bill, an old guy who's a former Mr Universe, he was there every day, still training at 70 odd years old. It was an incredible place to be. But I remember walking in there when I was 14, being quite intimidated. But I went in, everyone was really, really welcoming, and Bill himself did me a little plan. In fact, they had these little laminated cards with plans on it. So mine was just a full body plan, and what I would do is I would go in there 4 or 5 times a week and just do that simple plan. It was literally 3 sets of 10, leg extensions, leg curls, hack squats, some bench press stuff, like just touching on each body part. And I was doing that like 5 days a week. And over the first couple of years, so like 14 to 16, I put on some really good quality muscle. And like I said, the atmosphere was great. The people in there were great. And and I made really, really good progress. However, as time went on, what I would try and do is I would try and rush the process. I'd want to get ripped, or I'd want to put more muscle on. But then to do that, I would try different diets, or I would try different training styles, or I ended up like leaving that gym and going to other gyms, and then signing up to boxing events, signing up to marathons. I went and did CrossFit for a few sessions, which absolutely battered me. And this went on for literally about 15 years. But what I wanted was, I just wanted to be in great shape. I wanted to be more confident. I wanted to be able to, whip my shirt off and feel good and comfortable. That was always the goal. So doing all these other things, I was trying to fast track what I was doing, when actually I was making great progress with what I was doing anyway. So in this video, what I am going to do is I am going to cover what I would do if I was to start again now, and what I would tell the younger version of myself that did start off with those things. So that's what today's video is all going to be about. So, but if you are new to the channel, I'm Rikki Halfpenny. I have been an online transformation coach for the last 6 years, helping guys get into fantastic shape physically and mentally without overwhelm and confusion. So let's get into the video. So knowing now what I do know from experience with clients and experience with myself, the first thing I would do is I would get myself as lean as possible. A lot of people want to go onto a bulk straight away. I want to build muscle, but the thing is, you've got to be patient. And if you are going to build muscle, you want to do that from as lean a point as possible. And the level of leanness you want to get to is having a set of abs, pretty much. That's kind of where you need to be. And then you can build on it from there. So the first thing you want to do, and this happens a lot, I get people coming in that they're not particularly fat even, but they're not ready to go into a mass building phase. So for me, where I was at, the first thing I would have done was I would have got my training plan. I would have worked with progressive overload. So I would have been recording my sessions, making sure I'm trying to do more reps, more weight, whatever that may be, pushing as hard as I can, coming into a calorie deficit, starting at a 500 calorie deficit, and just monitoring over time, pulling off body fat, adding cardio when needed, adding steps when needed if that was the case, and just get myself as lean as possible. That would be the first thing I would do, knowing what I do now, and just trusting that process as well. Because once you get really, really lean, you only really need to do that once, as long as you reverse out of it correctly. Because what a lot of people do is they push a fat loss phase, get themselves lean, and then it's like, right, the diet's done now. They go mental. Next couple of weeks, you end up putting about a stone on in 2 weeks because they just eat like fucking idiots and just go absolutely mental, instead of reversing out of it the correct way and then gradually putting the muscle on. And that's where the real physique transformation happens. Because the thing is, you can look more muscular because you've lost body fat. If you've already got a decent amount of muscle, you lose body fat, you train the correct way, you keep your protein nice and high, then you do look like you're bigger. Because I think people worry about getting skinny, but actually you're going to look bigger because people can actually see the muscle that you've got now. So that is the first thing I would do, is get myself lean. Second thing I would do, and this is prevalent to the story that I told you at the start, is I would stick to one plan. So I would get my training plan, I would stick with that, I'd work to the point that I can't do any more reps without losing form. So basically working, like I said, with mechanical tension. So basically what I mean by that is when you're doing your reps, when you're doing your sets, towards the end of the set, your reps will naturally slow down. They will become a bit of a grind, and you want to keep going until the point that you've kind of got one rep maybe left or to failure itself, depending on the machine and if it's safe to do so without losing form. That is the point your set ends. Your set doesn't end where it starts to burn, where it starts to get hard. It ends where mechanical tension fails. So, one rep left. You know, in a lot of cases there, that's enough, but it does have to be to that point. If you've got 5, 6, 7 reps left, you need to be working harder. It is as simple as that. And what I would do is I would record that. I would record my sessions, and then, like I say, each session you try to get an extra rep, extra bit of weight, and you are progressing that way. And that's what I would do, and I would stick to that plan. I wouldn't think, even though I have done this, I wouldn't think, oh, I'm going to go and do boxing. I'm going to sign up for a marathon because I'll burn a load of calories that way. I'd get a plan. I'd stick to it. I'd get my head down. It can be a bit boring. It can be a bit monotonous. And that's why you do need to gamify it a little bit as well by trying to beat the reps you did last time and all that kind of stuff as well. But I would get one plan and I would stick to it. And the third thing I would do if I was starting again is I would work with someone who has either done it themselves or has got a proven track record of getting people the results that I'm after. Because that way, when you do have them wobbles and you do think, oh, shall I go on this diet or shall I go on this training plan, you've got somebody in your corner that knows exactly what they're doing. Somebody that can say, no, you need to trust the process. You know, the scales may not have dropped today, but the thing is, we look at averages. I know you might think that you're looking like shit at the moment, but you're actually not. This is exactly where we need to be. Because then that way you're not acting on emotion and making changes on emotion, because a lot of people don't get to where they want to be because they act on emotion. So that is really, really important, to have someone in your corner who understands the process, who's going to hold you accountable to it, and who you trust as well. It's got to be somebody that you trust. And looking at their track record, and after speaking to them, and you can tell what kind of person they are, that's the person you want to be working with. So like some of my guys have been with me for 2+ years now. Some of them have actually been with me for 4 years. And we've built this relationship. And the thing is, over time, they didn't know everything straight away, because you're not going to know everything straight away, but they just got started and we've progressed over time. And we're seeing some absolutely fantastic transformations through that. You know, they didn't come in and then after 2 weeks, oh, fucking hell, I'm not getting the results, and then disappear, because that's what people do all the time, because they want instant results. Getting yourself into fantastic physical and mental shape is probably the only thing that you can't swipe left for or swipe right, whatever it is. You know, these days you can get money, you can get women, you can get things on Amazon, you can get credit cards. You can't get your physique and health. It is a little, you know, it might be a little bit easier to lose weight and things now, you know, with fat loss injections and things like that, but that's a different story for a different day. But getting yourself a good coach, someone that understands you, somebody that is going to help you, and somebody that you trust is mega, mega important. So there are the 3 things, if I was to start again, I would do. First one, like I said, is get as lean as possible. Number 2 is stick to the same plan. And number 3 is I would work with someone with a proven track record that I trust and that I get on with. Now, if you're struggling to put all this together and you don't know where to start, in the description below, I have got a free physique transformation guide, and this is going to teach you exactly how to set your nutrition up. It's going to teach you exactly how to train. There's actually a training plan in there for you to give a try. It's also got some lifestyle bits in there that you want to be adhering to. So it's got everything you need, whether you are going into a fat loss or whether you're already lean enough and you're looking to muscle build. Everything you need is in there. So the link is in the description. Click on that, get that downloaded. And if you've got any questions at all, just drop me a message. Follow me on Instagram. You can drop me a message on there anytime. But I hope this video was useful, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.